Hello, everybody. This is John Lint, lead programmer of BB Digital Lab. I know it might look a little bit different than my normal background, but I am going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be using a different computer um, just because I want to show you guys. I had someone in the comments ask me about the web safety in relation to the web safety podcast. They were wondering, can you show us like how you actually test what that actually involves of being safe. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's audit something that I think most of us know you'll be okay with. You're probably not going to get a virus from. They're not going to be doing anything super sneaky. Google.com. So I went and I copied the URL because I'm going to need that for later. And you can just do that with Control C. You can do right mouse click, copy. You go to a new tab, and I looked up website spam check. First thing, urlvoid.com. I have used this website before, but there's several other ones. I mean, at the end of the day, what you're looking for is something that can tell you, is this spam? So very straightforward website reputation checker. So you enter the URL. As I said before, this does not guarantee that if it has a high spam score, it is a spam site. It could mean that they have it optimized or it's kind of out of date. But in general, it means that something's up, something isn't perhaps configured correctly, whether that's malicious or whether that's just because it has, like I said, they just haven't updated, isn't clear, but that's a question that you have to investigate if you're going to be using it. So website address, google.com, last analysis 15 hours ago. So I guess this site did an analysis of google.com to make sure everything was good. 15 hours ago is pretty good. Blacklist status, 0 out of 35 search of the major search engines have blacklisted this site, which means if a site's blacklisted, it means that it won't show up at all in if you search it in a given browser. If it is blacklisted, there's probably something really bad they did. So try to avoid blacklisted sites, most definitely. The domain was registered, what was that? January, February, March. I still have to count the months on my hand. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September, October. So October 15th, 1997, 24 years ago, this domain was registered, google.com. Domain information, you have the DNS records, ping, whois lookup. These are official legal records. They need to be they have to be there for every site legally. And this provides information, some more in-depth information about the site information. That's like I said, that's a little more advanced. If you want to do your research and like learn about DNS records, I can provide some resources below, but this data itself is going to be pretty good in terms of like checking out a site, making sure it's all good. Web IP address. This might not mean a ton to you, but for example, if you see an IP address, you can look up where it is located, or you can look up like other sites that are on that IP address. I remember I was dealing with a spam bot issue on one of the sites that I help in their comment section. But if you look at all of the comments, they come from the same IP address. It's just these last two numbers were different. So I was able to block it and rectify the issue. But there are IP addresses that are listed as like being unsafe, being associated with spam, hacking, malicious users in general. Um, and they might be able to change these last two numbers because that's this kind of like the specific user, the specific computer that's using that address, or the not the computer, the router associated with that address. Um, but not the most insane thing, not the most valuable information. Reverse DNS, also ASN. Let's look that up. ASN number. So that refers to the autonomous system numbers to control routing with their networks. So that's kind of getting more into the networking side of things, just like, so every, all these sites need their routing numbers so that like a server knows where to go to get it and who to get it from. Once it, like with the reverse DNS, not insanely important for making sure that a website is healthy and credible. Server location, US to United States, that's great. Easy way to tell that a site is malicious is if you expect it to be based in one country, but it's based in an entirely different one. Now, it could be that the site owners had their website built out or are having it run by a third party in another country. That happens all the time. And people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They're utilizing their time effectively. If they found people who can get the job done well, and then it shouldn't really matter what country it's from. But with the server, it's a question of where are the servers actually being housed? Where is the information actually being stored? It's better off, like, I mean, in the case of Google, or if I looked up like a local store, you would expect it to be in the United States, the server to be located in the United States. If it's not, as with all this stuff, it doesn't mean that it's a bad site, but it's a red flag that means you need to be a little bit more wary of what's going on with that site. Latitude, longitude, that's pretty cool. That tells you precisely where the server is. So I'm pretty sure if I pulled up Google Maps, I would see one of the Google data centers, which they have several of. The thing about like latitude and longitude is a lot of websites do use data centers. Like, I mean, our website uses a data center. We're not going to have a whole bunch of servers in this apartment or in our office. So it's very common to use a centralized data center location or a server. Like a data center location. I know Amazon has a lot of them. Google has a lot of them. A few other major companies, and you can find them all over the United States, or across the world. But this will point you to one of Google's data centers, and actually it tells you where it's located. Isn't that cool? Mountain View, California. So I guess that's where the Google data center is. Now, this site is okay. As you can see, like it gives some information, which is very important information. But if you're looking for, let's check out another one. So siteguarding.com, scan your website. So another thing of, okay, is this safe? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but here, website spam, spam score checker. Now this one I definitely have used. I'm a big fan of it. It does a good job, very straightforward. Okay, here we go. So bunch of information, domain authority. That you want this to be a high number. It just means like how of the how strongly associated is their domain with the brand. Page authority, very good as well. That means this is more of an SEO thing, but we keep going. One total backlinks. This refers to how many times other sites refer to it. 1 billion is pretty good. You're not going to get 1 billion with most sites, but backlinks are a good way to verify credibility because if they are weighted, so reputable sites providing backlinks are better for a site in terms of like how likely it is to be spam than and the number shows up higher than if it were less reputable sites. So a higher spam, higher total backlinks. You want it to be in the hundreds. Billion is because it's Google. Quality backlinks. There we go. That's that critical thing. See, 1 billion. So if there's a lot of backlinks, but not a lot of quality backlinks, that's also a concern. That's also talking about the weighted value. Percentage of quality backlinks, that's very good. If there's a big discrepancy, that's concerning. Moz trust from 1 to 10. I mean, a 10 out of 10 is pretty good. If it's below a 6, I'd say, then you need to be a little bit concerned. The spam score, 28%, that's fine. If you're seeing something in the range of like 40 to 50, then you need to start being very concerned about spam score. And with all of these, I mean, I just go like this is you have a lot of options, but I would look up spam score checker. Select the first or second option, you enter the URL, and you'll see like you'll get some okay information. Some of some of the data might not be the most pertinent. Some of it may be kind of difficult to understand, but critically, the spam score, right? This information, all of it, like it's part of it, but that's the important thing. And quality backlinks, domain page authority, all very important numbers to know. So that was kind of a quick overview. I know I kind of vary my content a little bit. I will stop sharing. So yeah, that was the kind of a quick episode of the BB&J podcast. I hope that you found it enlightening. If not, or if you did, let me know. And thank you so much for listening and watching. I will see you all next week.